Welcome to Tea or Sugar. We often think of history's great battles as being fought with guns and soldiers. But what if the most critical battles, the ones that really shape a nation, are fought with ideas? Well, this is a story just like that. It's about how one man's perspective, his powerful ideas, became a weapon in his country's fight for freedom. A weapon so dangerous, it made him the target.
And our story really starts right here, with this really haunting epitaph. And get this, he wrote it himself. I mean, it's just incredibly somber, almost prophetic, isn't it? It gives you a glimpse into the mind of a man who absolutely knew the risks he was taking. You get the sense that he knew, deep down, that this fight could cost him everything.
So it really begs the question, right? Who was this man? Who was the person with so much intellectual courage that he would write his own epitaph, basically forecasting his own death? All right, let's peel back the layers. Let's find out who Maulana Awliya Rahman really was.
Okay, the scholar and the healer, unveiling the man. See, to really get why he was such a threat, you have to understand who he was as a person. And trust me, he was not someone you could easily put in a box. Okay, look at this. The sheer breadth of his talents is, well, it's just astounding. This wasn't just a scholar who knew a few languages. I mean, he was fluent in Arabic, Urdu, and Bengali. But that's just the start. He was also a modern thinker, a published author, a researcher at the super prestigious Bangla Academy, and here's the kicker. He was also a trained homeopathic physician who ran a free clinic for his community. So you see, he was so much more than just a religious scholar. This guy was a genuine Renaissance man.
And his rise, it was absolutely meteoric. Just look at this timeline. In just 4 years, from 49 to 53, he knocks out 4 advanced degrees in Islamic studies. 4. Fast forward to the 60s, he's a government researcher. Then by 1965, he's also a practicing physician, serving his community for free. It just shows you this incredible, relentless drive he had, not just for knowledge, but for helping people, for public service.
The war over a narrative, an ideological battlefield. Okay, so all of this was happening against the backdrop of a huge nationwide conflict. But for Rahman, the real war, the most important battlefield, it wasn't being fought with guns. It was being fought with ideas, with interpretations. It was literally a war over the story the nation was telling itself.
And this slide right here gets to the absolute heart of the conflict. So on one hand, you had the ruling regime. They were basically weaponizing religion. They were telling people that fighting for their own language and culture was un-Islamic, that it was a rebellion against the state, even against God. Well, Rahman saw right through this. He saw how dangerous it was, and he pushed back hard. His counter-narrative was both powerful and really quite simple. He argued that fighting for justice, for your national rights, that isn't just something you're allowed to do as a Muslim. No, it's a fundamental duty of your faith.
Fighting with ink and paper, an intellectual arsenal. So like we said, he didn't pick up a gun. No, he fought with something way more dangerous to that kind of regime. Logic, reason, and faith, all delivered through ink and paper. Let's take a look at his arsenal.
I love this phrase, weapons of mass instruction, because that's exactly what these books were. Just look at the titles. They tell you his whole strategy. He took the key political demands of the movement, what was known as the 6 points, basically a call for more autonomy, and he just systematically, logically proved that they were totally compatible with Islamic law, with reason, with everything the regime said they weren't. He was literally dismantling the government's propaganda, piece by piece, for everyone to see.
And this quote really sums it all up. He wasn't just making a political argument. He was using the Quran and the Sunnah, the core texts of Islam, to prove that demanding your rights was an imani duty, a faith-based duty. What he did was so brilliant. He bridged this artificial gap that the government was trying to create between being patriotic and being religious. He basically showed everyone that loving your country and demanding your rights wasn't against your faith. It was a part of your faith, an expression.
A light extinguished, the final 72 hours. Well, a light that bright, an intellectual fire that powerful, it doesn't go unnoticed. And as the war reached its absolute brutal climax in December of 1971, Maulana Awliya Rahman, the man who fought with ideas, became a prime target. A target for those who wanted to extinguish that light forever.
The end came so quickly. And it was brutal. On December 11th, he's seen at a mosque during Friday prayers. That same night, the safe house where he was staying is surrounded, and he's taken away. We know he was imprisoned for about 3 days in a dark cell right near the infamous Rare Bazaar killing fields. And after the 14th, nothing. When the killing fields were discovered, thousands of bodies were found, but his was never among them. He was, for all intents and purposes, erased.
The undiscovered legacy, an echo through time. But here's the thing, you can kill a person, but you can't kill an idea. His grave is still unknown, just like his own epitaph predicted. But his legacy, his intellectual contribution, that was not forgotten. Let's take a look at how his country made sure he would be remembered.
The new nation, the very one he fought to help create, made sure to remember him. Just 1 year later, on December 16, 1972, his name is right there on the first official list of martyred intellectuals. The Bangla Academy, where he used to be a researcher, profiled him. He's listed in the Encyclopedia of Martyred Doctors. And most importantly, his name is physically inscribed on the Martyred Intellectuals Memorial. They couldn't silence his echo. It was there to stay.
And I think this quote from a contemporary, an educator named Abul Qasim, just captures his impact perfectly. He says he could not imagine that an alim, that's a really respected Islamic scholar, could possess such modern knowledge and speak such pure Bengali. It shows you just how much Rahman shattered stereotypes. He was a bridge between the traditional and the modern, between faith and reason, between religious scholarship and national pride. He literally showed an entire generation of people what was possible.
Which brings us back to our final question. How many of history's greatest battles are won not on a field, but in the mind? Maulana Oliur Rahman's story is such a powerful reminder that the biggest, most important struggles in our history often aren't for land or resources. They're for the narrative. They're battles for the hearts and minds of people, for perspective. His life was a testament to the power of choosing your perspective, of defining your own struggle, even in the face of impossible odds. And as always, the choice is yours, tea or sugar.